It's just really strange. I know everybody's going to come up with their own theories, but I feel like something had to go on behind the scenes. What about this comment? It's got over 600 likes. It's almost like they know Dion only cares about his sons and nobody else. Whew, I know that's going to be controversial. What do y'all think about that? I'm really curious. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's been a minute since we talked about the Colorado Buffaloes, and this is some not only big-time news, but devastating news to the team. If you're a Colorado fan, you might want to brace yourself for this. We got a lot to talk about because there's just so much going on, but I'm going to come out and say this right now, give you a little teaser in the intro. Colorado has just lost not one, not two, but three big players within 24 hours, and it looks like some more's to come. It looks like, what am I even trying to say? I couldn't even talk there, I apologize, but you get what I was trying to say. And here's how I go about things. Anytime I see a team lose one, or I'd even say two players, I go, no big deal, that's just kids changing their minds, right? I normally don't talk about it because no big deal, it happens all the time. But, and I have an extremely big but, you better believe this, what piqued my interest with all of this is Colorado lost not one, not two, but three players all within the span of 24 hours. You don't see that every day. And it left me asking this question, and we're going to try to get to the bottom of it in today's video. What's going on? It's strange, okay? There's no other way to put it, and a lot of people think it has something to do with Deion Sanders telling these new recruits that if you want to make a lot of money in the NIL department, this ain't the place to come. Deion has made that evidently clear. They're not some NIL factory. We're going to talk all about that, but also in today's video, we got to talk about some other stuff and chaos that is going on in the transfer portal. Remember only, what was it, about 5 or 6 days ago, I'll pop up the video right here. I made a video titled, College Football Just Got a Huge Warning. If you haven't seen the video, feel free to check it out, but to make a long story short here, this warning was no other than a coach and multiple coaches telling the rest of the world to buckle up, get ready, because this transfer portal is about to get crazy. And yeah, that is exactly what is currently ongoing. Maybe I'm having recency bias here, but I don't remember the transfer portal being this chaotic this early on last year or the year before, even the year before that. It seems like the transfer portal each and every single year gets abused more than the year prior, and it's a shame. I like the transfer portal, don't get me wrong, but there's a dark side to it a lot of people, they're not paying attention to, and that's a different video for a different day. We got a lot to go over. If you're new to the channel and you like college football content, consider subscribing, joining our amazing community. We love to have you here, but all right, man, blah, 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 shut the crap up. Now without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so first things first, we're going to talk about some of this transfer portal news, and then we'll get into the juicy stuff with Deion Sanders in Colorado. First things first, arguably one of the biggest, I wouldn't say best players, but the biggest names in the transfer portal, Max Johnson, he entered it yesterday. This shocked me, not because he's entering the transfer portal, but it shocked me because how does this guy have eligibility left? This is a guy, if you keep up with SEC football, you know, he has not only started at Texas A&M, but he's also started at LSU, and now he's going to start somewhere else? And this is what I'm talking about. This is the dark side of the transfer portal. When you get guys transferring, I don't mind one transfer, but when you have a guy who's now going to play at 3 schools, I just don't like that. I can't get down with it. I'm not going to sit up here and say, well, oh, he doesn't want to work hard to earn the spot. No. Don't discredit a D1 athlete. They all work hard. But what I'm saying is, when you transfer for a third time, there's no more of this, oh, well, you can point the finger at LSU and A&M. No. You got to point the finger at yourself. Maybe you're the problem. And I'm not talking about Max Johnson directly here. I'm talking about for everybody that does this. I could talk about the transfer portal all day, as do I. There's some positives and negatives, but we'll do that maybe later this week. He enters the portal, and whether you think he's a great quarterback or not, there's some teams that could use him. I don't think he's that bad, and I think he can be pretty good. If he gets into the right fit, right system, it's going to work out. And the rumor around the block right now is he's going to be going to North Carolina. They've received a crystal ball to get him, and I think this would be a pretty good fit. North Carolina, they're going to lose Drake May to the NFL draft, and there's not going to be too much pressure on Max Johnson to win 10 or 11 games because it's North Carolina. As long as you win 8, 9 games a year, everybody's going to be happy. Good for him, I guess. And also, involving the transfer portal and quarterbacks, Kansas State's quarterback has announced he's entering the transfer portal. And it's being stated right now that Auburn, Kentucky, Louisville, Missouri, and Washington are possible destinations to watch out for. A Missouri fan in the comments said, "We good," and that's how I felt. I mean, why would Missouri want this guy? I'm not trying to disrespect him, but nah, that ain't happening. I also don't see the Auburn one happening because I assume Peyton Thorne's going to come back next year. Washington, that seemed like a mega downgrade for them, so I'd say right now there's only 2 teams that are going to go after this guy, probably Louisville and Kentucky, at least on this list. When I tell you there's so many other transfer portal stuff we could talk about, I mean it. We'll save that for a different day. We gotta get a move on to the main topic of the main encore. The main reason you clicked onto this video. What in the world is going on in Boulder, Colorado? How do I say this nicely? There's not a nice way to say it. It's a crap show. That shouldn't shock you. If you saw the second half of this season, you know this. I believe they ended the year on, what was it, a 5-6 game losing streak? It was bad. Bad. Very bad, to say the least. Don't worry, I'm not here to sit up here and tell you how awful Colorado was this year, because we've already done that, and you saw it with your own 2 eyes. What we're here to talk about is the newest in news involving this Colorado team. And currently what's happening to this Colorado team is something that happens to every single person at some point in time in their life. When things are going good for you in your life or great for you, and you're like, man, it can't get any better than this. Somehow, some way, it gets better. However, though, this is the dark side of life and the rainy days of life when things are going awful for you and you're like, man, it can't get any worse than this. Somehow, some way, it gets worse. And right now for Colorado, they're on the wrong side of that analogy. It is getting worse because Colorado fans originally thought, okay, yeah, we finished the year 4-8, but now we're going to recruit good, we're going to get a new offensive line, and we're going to be better next year, right? Well, just like the living legend Lee Corso says, not so fast, my friend. I hate to break the bad news to Colorado fans, but you still got a lot of rainy days ahead of you. This has been trending everywhere on Twitter, Instagram, and if you keep up with college football, you may have seen this already, but Colorado suffered not 1, not 2, but 3 decommitments in 24 hours. One of those decommitments was a huge 4-star quarterback prospect that goes by the name of Antoine Hill Jr. He was their quarterback in 2025. He decommits. It's like, okay, not a big deal. Well, then right after that, another quarterback in the 2024 class, Danny O'Neal, decommitted. So you had 2 quarterbacks decommit under 24 hours. So that's a little fishy, right? But then hold on. It gets worse. A 2025 running back, he decommitted as well. I'm going to say this yet again. Can't harp on it enough. All within the span of 24 hours. I'm trying to think, guys, but I don't know if I've ever seen a college football program lose not 1, but 2 quarterbacks just like that. Heck, I don't know if I've ever seen them lose 2 quarterback recruits within a year, and this happened in 24 hours. It's just really strange. I know everybody's going to come up with their own theories, but I feel like something had to go on behind the scenes. You can chalk it up as a huge coincidence, and maybe you want to do that, but I don't know. I feel like something's going on. And I know some people are going to say, well, Matt, they got Shedeur Sanders. Maybe that's why they decommitted. And no, these are recruits coming in. They're not even there. Shedeur Sanders are going to be gone by the time they get there and develop. And then to go on top of that, you had the running back decommit, and that was a real eye-opener for me. Take a look at this comment. It's not really news kids decommit from schools all the time, but until he gets a decent O-line, I don't expect too many top quarterbacks, wide receivers, or running backs to join the team. Colorado's going to have to show they can develop the talent they can get to look like they are headed in the right direction. And I agree. I guess that'd be my only logical explanation. These quarterbacks and this running back that decommitted, they're like, well, this offense straight up sucks, and I don't want to play for an offense that sucks. And as far as it goes for the quarterbacks, they probably notice if you're going to play quarterback for Colorado, you're going to get killed. If I was a quarterback, I'd tell you right now, I wouldn't even consider Colorado until they fix that offensive line. No way. Because Shedeur Sanders is a phenomenal talent. He's a heck of a quarterback, but he can't even show how good he is because he doesn't even have time to pass. Seriously, I'm asking you a genuine question. Why would anybody on the offensive side of the ball want to go to Colorado? What about this comment? It's got over 600 likes. It's almost like they know Deion only cares about his sons and nobody else. Whew, I know that's going to be controversial. What do y'all think about that? I'm really curious. Do y'all think Deion Sanders just cares about Shedeur Sanders and himself, or does he actually care about Colorado, this team, and university? Here we go. I like this comment. Every school has decommitments. Why y'all trying to make it seem like he's the only one? And I agree. Well, there's 2 reasons for this, my friend. Number 1, it's Colorado. Anytime something good or bad happens, the media, I guess including me, we're going to report on it. And number 2, I will attest to this. I think if Alabama lost 2 quarterback recruits and a running back recruit all within 24 hours, that'd be big time news. It's just something you don't see every day, losing 2 quarterbacks in 24 hours. The Hayes effect said, this happens to every school. Folks gonna amplify it because it's Prime. And yep, I agree, just like we already said. Anything bad happens with Coach Prime in Colorado, everybody's gonna talk about it. Although I do think this is a very weird and strange circumstance, I wouldn't overreact too much if I am a Colorado fan, because it's going to happen. You take the good with the bad with the good. You have these 3 guys decommit, but then maybe you gain 4 or 5 new ones next week. It happens, man. It happens. But I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts down below about that. Robin.